Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory. And that's about as loud as I'm going to be the entire episode. I'm very sick. How is it going?
Ooh.
I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks.
I'm Ralph from Ralph the Movie Maker, youtube.com/Ralph.
Yeah, right. I'm Alex from I Hate Everything. You don't sound very well, Adam.
Yeah, it was. I was literally fine yesterday. And then as soon as I was going to sleep, I was like, my throat feels terrible. It's like very incredibly dry. It's just like having a tough time swallowing. And yep, that's been my day so far. Good news is I woke up early. Bad news it was because I was sick, but I got to see the doctor for free because it's Canadian healthcare, so that's cool.
Nice.
We don't have that.
Yeah,
we have that. So, yeah.
Well, how is it in the UK anyway? Is it
how the quality of the service, or
I don't know. Like you guys have like socialized healthcare, right?
Yeah, it's all free.
I think America's the odd one out here.
Yeah,
like globally.
Although I haven't been, keeping up with it. There might have been some new things passed. I have no idea.
Some
break your arm and find out.
Oh yeah, that's one way. So I'm drinking some Gatorade because I hear electrolytes are good for
what's that?
Being sick. So apparently you don't have Gatorade in the UK?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it or tasted it for myself.
Okay.
In any UK shops.
Okay. But like you have some sort of like sports drink equivalency though, right?
We have what's called Lucozade. I guess you guys don't have Lucozade over there.
Is it by Lucasfilm?
No? Well, maybe. I don't know.
It could be.
They got Lara Croft on the bottle sometimes.
Oh.
Which one? Alicia
the
Vikander.
Video game.
Oh, the video game one.
Oh,
there's
so
like
like
different
triangle tits.
Yeah, they could have been that one. Yeah.
Am I missing out? Is Gatorade
Well,
good or something?
it is.
I always hear
enjoy
Americans
it.
talk about it.
I don't know. Like it's the same as Powerade basically. It's like a it's kind of sugary, salty sports drink. There's no like caffeine or whatever. It's like it hydrates you, gives you electrolytes, which is like salt, I guess. And that's it.
Salty but sweet.
What do they do? Electrolytes.
They hydrate you.
Yeah. Why can't you just drink
You can
water?
retain water easier if you have more salt in your body. I think that's how it works. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm sick.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I have no idea what the fuck my body does. So in other news, we all beat Spider-Man.
We beat up Spider-Man, yep.
I beat off Spider-Man.
What?
Well, he's like at least in his 20s in that game, so it's okay to say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So Spider-Man PS4, we've all played it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I really loved it.
Well, I already said. Oh, good. I'm glad you did.
Did you think I was gonna shit on it?
No.
Okay.
I basically thought we were
surprised.
all gonna enjoy like the base like mechanics of it.
Mm-hmm.
And all that stuff is so good that everything else around it's like, okay. This stuff is great though.
You were saying in the other episode that we mentioned Spider-Man in, because neither Alex nor I had played it, but you were saying something along the lines of that you skip the cutscenes and that you like don't give a shit.
People made a big deal about it. Well, to be clearer about it, I started watching the cutscenes for the first 2 hours, and I'm like, wow, I'm really not digging the story or the dialogue all that much. I'm not digging J.
Really?
Jonah Jameson's little podcast. I'm not digging Spider Cop. I'm not digging any of that. And I get it's the Spider-Man appeal. I get it, but I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I'm not saying all stories in video games are bad, which is someone interpreted it that way on the Reddit, which is weird. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy the story in it, so I'm like, I won't bother with it, really. I'll just do the other stuff that I like doing.
Yeah,
So.
I didn't really hate any part of the story, really, except for the demons. I found that to be stupid. And the fact that they called them demons also was just really annoying. It's like all these Chinese guys that you beat up that are... I don't really understand if they're... Like, some of them are possessed, but some of them aren't. But they have magic powers. But they're, like, actually evil, and Spider-Man's okay with hurting some of them, but not the other. Like, there's civilians that get possessed also, but it's different.
Yeah, it was weird. I felt like the last chunk of the game is pretty great when all the villains come in, and I felt like that should have happened earlier because I think most of this game is just like you're fighting either the demons or like I don't know, other thugs. And then toward the end it starts everyone comes in, Dr. Octopus, the Scorpion, and you know.
Yeah, I was going to say what level of spoilers cuz some of this is pretty spoilery.
I mean, the second Doc Ock is in the game, you're like, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like the clip that they
what did you think was
used,
going to happen with him?
the clip that they used at the like
I didn't know he was in the game.
E3 or
But
something wasn't it just featuring a bunch of them? Like they had the Electro and then
that was but the whole Doc Ock reveal, he wasn't there.
I mean,
so
you already know Doc Ock's going to be in it at some point by what? An hour through the game?
I didn't. I had no idea he was in the game.
But like the first 10 minutes, he shows up, and you're like, "What do you think is going to happen with him? Do you think it's just going to be Doc Ock the whole time?
I'm just being devil's advocate. Okay, that's all.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I really like the Doc Ock stuff. I like the whole Doc Ock storyline. I thought that was really great.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was way better than Spider-Man 2's portrayal of Doc Ock.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Spider-Man 2, the original Spider-Man.
As in
Sam Raimi
not
Spider-Man.
the amazing one.
Wow. Yeah, not the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It's the only other movie Doc Ock's been in, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Uh-huh. I don't know if I agree with you there, Alex, but
it's been
a while.
we at some point we're going to have to rewatch Spider-Man 2 or maybe the first one and talk about it because
I would love to do that.
I have a feeling we all hold it in higher regards or in a different way because of how we felt about it when we were younger.
Yeah, who knows?
Really do.
I'm just like, I'm hoping that it's not a lot worse when I watch it again. But I don't know. From what I can tell, like I really love the cinematography that Sam Raimi uses in those movies. So I don't know how disappointed I could be. But anyway, about the game. What were you saying? Just about Doc Ock, I guess?
Yeah, I really liked how they made that character interesting, gave him good motivations. He wasn't just I'm going to rob banks character, or because every Spider-Man villain kind of falls into experiment gone wrong and then robs banks. Like as I was going through the game, I went on the wiki pages of all the villains and I was like, oh, what's the original comic book story behind this one? And every single one is just experiment gone wrong. It's just like, god damn it, how high was Stan Lee when he was writing this? Just he had no ideas. But yeah, I thought that part of it was pretty good. I had some similar issues with the whole demon thing.
Yeah.
It was okay. Mr. Negative kind of looks cool. I like his design. I mean, I guess I understand why they chose him, but yeah.
Playing a white guy and then beating up a bunch of Chinese people, I haven't felt that way since Resident Evil 5 when we went to Africa.
I liked that the city changed around you as the game went on, and as things would happen in the story, and then like streets would start to be occupied by these soldiers, and then thugs would start to take over. It was really cool how the city constantly changed according to what you were doing.
Are you guys familiar with the Arkham games, the Batman trilogy?
But I tried
games.
them and I couldn't get into them. Not my thing.
Really?
But I understand the comparisons and what this game borrowed from that. I love this game. By those. I did not. I can't really get into Arkham.
Okay. It's not like as solid mechanically as any of the Arkham games, in my opinion. Especially like the stealth stuff.
The stealth stuff was hilarious.
Stuff is
it was really
bad. Is bad.
You can just run through it.
And the parts where you play as anyone who isn't Spider-Man, I thought those were pitifully bad.
They're pretty funny.
Dreadful. They were funny for a few minutes.
They got really fucking old.
And when you figure out how dumb the AI are, you can just kind of sprint through them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's it pulls you out so much.
You
it's so
throw
bad.
something right in front of their feet. What's that?
I just laughed whenever I got caught because they have like this little animation where Mary Jane was like, "Oh no!" and then it cuts off. It's fucking hilarious. And Miles is like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, with the Rhinos like charging at him.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And then there were like no loading screens on that one. There were like loading screens when you were Spider-Man, but not when you were in the stealth part.
Well,
it was just
because I has to load the whole city.
Yeah, that's true. I really liked the fight mechanics of the game.
Yeah. The fight mechanics and the web swinging mechanics are great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the stealth. I would just like walk up to guys and I don't know, they were angled weird and they'd catch me. Or I tried to like do a stealth attack on them and I punch them by accident and I got caught.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck was that?
Well,
It was bullshit.
none of them have any peripheral vision. So you're like hanging these guys down and webbing them everywhere. And these idiot thugs are just walking around.
Yeah.
Like right behind them.
A few centimeters in front of them, and they never look up or anything.
See, it kind of made sense for the mask guys, because it's like, oh, they're wearing masks and they can't see anything. But everybody else, it didn't make as much sense. Like, why can't you look
the
up?
combat, but you couldn't get into Arkham.
Yeah.
And the combat's very similar.
I think it's just I don't give a shit about Batman. That might be it.
Okay.
Like, there's no
So
web
just the
swinging.
Spider-Man
Like,
aspect.
to me,
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested or invested in the what I was getting out of the Arkham games. And like in terms of the Spider-Man games, I don't really think that the highlight or the overall experience that I had of the game was necessarily just the, stealth kind of combat, pick off guys one by one, infiltrate an area kind of stuff. I feel like the game was much more than that overall.
I think the Arkham games have a better story, though.
Probably.
Really?
Like, that's
I don't know.
I think that's what kept me invested in them. Aside from Arkham
I feel the
Knight.
opposite, man.
Yeah, you feel that? Well, I mean, this is true to Spider-Man. I wouldn't want like a dark, brooding Spider-Man story because that's what those fucking Mark Webb movies are. But like, it's true to Spider-Man, and I appreciate that. I'm like, I don't want to watch cheesy dialogue. Whereas like the way they captured Batman in those Arkham games was really unique, and it's some of the best Batman stories ever told. I think are in those games. Like, it's fucking awesome.
Arkham City, maybe. Arkham Asylum's got some really good moments as well, but it really falls flat on its face at the very end, where Spider-Man's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you mean like with the Joker serum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really bad ending.
At the same time, you gotta fight a big boss, right?
I guess.
Arkham Knight did handle that better.
So apparently a lot of people said that the dialogue in this Spider-Man game is terrible. I didn't really find it to be that different than just a superhero movie in general. You know?
I thought it was very true to it.
Yeah, it just felt like I was watching a superhero movie
Spider
at times.
Cop, really? The Spider Cop things?
That's the only thing that made me go, yeah.
But that's
that was
like,
it, though.
That's like 10 conversations in the game.
No, it's
Spider
not.
Cop.
It's in the story twice, at the very beginning, at the very end.
It's reincorporated.
It felt longer.
No.
I don't know.
That was a great depiction of Peter Parker. They really understood that character, and there's loads of good payoffs in the last act.
It was cool that he wasn't a kid. It was different to see like him much older, done with photography, really done with all that juvenile shit. He's actually settled into the Spider-Man role quite well, and he's just kind of living life. That was awesome. That I enjoyed. It was just more the execution of it, the dialogue itself.
I like
and
the
voice
dialogue.
acting too.
Good.
I don't know.
Really, I like the voice acting. Yeah, that was great.
Okay. You like the J. Jonah Jameson things?
Yeah, he was basically Alex
I shut
Jones.
those off too. Yeah,
you?
that's what they were going for. Yeah, but again,
So
the
you
joke
just
got
skipped
old.
through everything, didn't you?
Yeah,
Well, I
man,
skipped through all the dialogue because I wasn't enjoying it.
That's fine.
I don't want to be fucking annoyed with J. Jonah Jameson while I'm
that's
trying to
fine.
explore the city.
You missed some cool stuff with that, because like if you go past one of those pop-up kind of crimes and don't deal to it, people like call in to J. Jonah and they're like, we just saw Spider-Man not like save these people, and he's like, this is why Spider-Man's a menace. That's cool, that kind of stuff.
I got him yelling about me chasing pigeons because I would go after all those other side quest things. I didn't 100% it, but I got all the backpacks, pigeons, and cat things.
I 100%ed it.
Oh, so you got
100%.
the naked
Every
Spider-Man suit.
That's right, I did.
Yeah,
And
undies.
I used it for 2 minutes. Yeah, undies.
Hilarious.
The suits were great. I love that mechanic where, first of all, there's like, how many suits were there? Were like 20, 25, right? Something like that. And then each suit has its own power. So you'd constantly, you'd mix them up. It was awesome.
Yeah,
that was a good idea.
I spent most of the game in the punk Spidey suit because I thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I first noticed that they actually appear in the cutscenes at the most perfect opportunity for it. It was when he was making food for MJ, and he like fucks up the food, and then cuts to her, and then cut back, and he's suddenly in a suit just going out the window, and it was the punk Spidey suit, and I lost my shit.
Yeah.
It was really funny to me. And then near the end of the game, I was playing it as the like that weird alternate universe, like it kind of looks like Killface from Frisky Dingo mixed with the Ghost Rider, like skull, flaming skull.
That was awesome.
Shit. Yeah, and I played the game a decent amount of near the end of the game as that, and it was so weird in cutscenes and everything. I was like, "What's happening? You're not going to acknowledge this?" Oh yeah, and then classic cartoon Spidey suit. That was awesome. That cel-shaded really cool, one that looked awesome.
Yeah. That was cool.
So this game broke a bunch of records for sales, didn't it?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I assume so.
Yeah.
And it deserves it. It's awesome.
It's like the fastest selling PS4 game or something.
Oh.
Well, of all time.
Yeah, I think so. Let's check it out. I'm going to look this up right now.
Red Dead will beat it.
Red Dead. Yeah, but it's not PS4 exclusive.
Awesome.
So.
Sure.
Yeah. True.
Let's see.
Now we're going to get like a million Marvel games then, I guess. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3.
If they're all good,
I
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
As long as they're good,
Yeah, I want to see more of these games.
I want a Marvel tournament fighter like DC has with the Injustice guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty good game.
There's Marvel v Capcom though, right?
Yeah, fuck that. Capcom.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
They have this really old one. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was like a really awesome Marvel fighter. Had Wolverine and Spider-Man in it and the Thing. I gotta look this up. Anyway, say what you're gonna say, Adam.
It sold 3.3 million copies in the first 3 days of release. So it beat God of War as the, I think, fastest selling PS4 title. I don't know. I'm not reading through all these articles to find out exactly what the record is, but that's a lot of games. It's a lot of damage.
Well, there you go. I find it annoying the way games are able to hide their kind of sales unless they do really, really well. That's the only time you ever find out how much a game's really sold. Whereas like with a movie, you usually find out how much money it makes in some way or another.
Yeah.
With video games, they just hide it.
There's a bunch of movies that I don't know
They do lie about that stuff. Well, not lie. They lie about the budgets. That's what they do. All the Hollywood budgets you see in like online or whatever, the studio just gives those out most of the time, so they're usually like inaccurate.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of motivation they would have for making it inaccurate though.
Sometimes you want to like inflate how much you spent on a movie to make it seem like it's your blockbuster for the year. So you say you spent 200 million on it when you really spent like 150. I don't know. They do shit like that sometimes.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, there's no reason to lie, but it does happen.
Could you imagine looking up the budget for Slender Man and seeing $200 million? Because that would be really funny.
I'd be like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm guessing they have to keep it like somewhat reasonable. You can't go too far with it. But
apparently it was 10 million, which seems still too high.
Yeah, that seems high. Honestly, they probably lied about it. It's probably closer to 5 million or something. Marketing. I don't know.
I also really liked the music in the Marvel Spider-Man game. I think it worked really well. I can't tell if any of it was kind of related musically to the Homecoming score. I don't remember.
No,
it's kind of
I'm pretty sure it's entirely original.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it's entirely original. Yeah, it was a really good Spider-Man theme.
Yeah, it was.
And Doc Ock had a theme. It was really good.
Yeah. Again, aside from like those cutscenes with the dialogue, I thought everything about it worked, except the stuff
crazy, man.
Too.
So, Ralph, tell me this: if you've 100%ed the game, does it give you an option to do like New Game Plus or whatever? Like, can you go through the campaign again with underwear in all the cutscenes?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't check. I just 100%ed it, and I haven't played it in like a few days.
I would love to watch those cutscenes with that. I think it would be hilarious.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'll look up some YouTube videos or something, and I just don't feel like I have the time to 100% it. Do you have to get like the highest score on all the challenges to get 100%?
No, you have to complete all of them.
Oh.
And like some of them, like if you want to fight the boss, it requires you to get like a certain amount of points, you know? So you got to do like really well on at least 2 of them. Otherwise the guy won't come out to fight or whatever. There's stuff like that. But anyway, I found that game I was talking about it's called Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. Have you guys ever heard of this?
Never.
No.
This is like the game I played as a child. It was for PS2 and Xbox and the Nintendo DS. Wow, I didn't even know that. But it's got Wolverine and Spider-Man and Daredevil, and it's got like all these other guys, these original people, and it's a fighting game, and it's fucking amazing. You get to have like Elektra fight, I don't know, the Thing or what. It's great.
I'm not really
I wish they'd do that again.
huge into fighting games, honestly. I just wind up button
It
mashing.
depends on the characters. You don't like Mortal
Apart from
Kombat?
Smash.
No, I can't.
Really?
The only one that
Even
I
for the fatalities.
no,
does it
yeah, I
make it
can't.
worth
It's not something that I'm into because I don't know. Like, it's something that I guess if I practiced a lot at it and got really good at it, then I might have fun doing. But otherwise, it's just like I don't want to memorize all of these move sets, and like it's just the gameplay isn't that entertaining to me. I would rather play something like Super Smash. You know, that's a fun fighting game for me. I'm not really interested in like those like Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct kind of games. The only one of those that I played when I was younger and I beat the game was Dead or Alive 3. And those had some really funny cutscenes. It was all weirdly sexualized. It was so bizarre. I don't know why my parents let me buy that game.
How about you, Alex? Any experience with these fighting games?
Just Smash Bros. That's the only one I really dabble with. My brother played a lot of Injustice, and he likes Mortal Kombat and stuff.
I just Smash Bros. Also.
I see what
Bazinga.
you did there. Clever.
Bazinga.
Got it.
Yeah, Smash is great.
I'm excited for the new one.
There's a new one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Donkey had his trailer analysis. Jimmy Neutron's supposed to be in it, right?
I don't fucking know. Everyone's in it now.
Yeah.
They've got. They should put Bowsette in it, even though it doesn't exist.
No.
It's just a fan art thing.
Did Chris Chan come up with it? Oh no, that's the Sonichu.
No.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh god.
Guys are all jerking off to Sonichu. Think about it.
Have you ever seen that documentary, the Chris Chan documentary that's on YouTube?
I'm aware of it, but how long is it again? I think the reason I haven't started it is
it's
because
like
it's
20 parts.
Yeah.
It's still going. It's going to be like 20 parts, and each
the
one's
most
like an hour and a half
documented
long.
human being on the planet.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's a really interesting documentary. Honestly.
I'll add that to my list. Does it have an IMDb page?
I don't know. It should. It should have really high ratings. It should win an Emmy.
Our shows have IMDb
whatever these
pages,
things.
so.
Yeah.
Did we want to? Did we have anything else we wanted to talk about, or we want to go straight into the fucking masterpiece here?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, we could talk about this movie for a while, so
Yeah.
we could.
Yeah.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, there's a
let's
lot
just
to
do it.
mention
Fuck
about
it.
this. What was the movie that you, Ralph, picked?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
introduce
let
it.
Me, let me
Yeah.
introduce it.
We're gonna spoil it. You
It's-
don't
it
want to
was-
be spoiled.
It was 2002, right?
So.
Ben
Yeah.
and Arthur, 2002. Okay,
Yeah.
so Ben and Arthur is God, what is it about? It's there's a gay couple, Ben and Arthur, right? And
Right.
was it Ben had a brother? Who's
Yeah.
like a hardcore
no, wait, he's
Christian.
Arthur. Arthur is
Arthur.
the
Yeah.
The not
Arthur has a
model.
brother who's a hardcore Christian and doesn't want him to be gay. And so they go to Hawaii, or they were going to go to Hawaii.
They
get
were
married.
gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna interject. I'll let you continue. There's so much
start
to
at the
beginning,
digest
man.
about this. I'm
I
so
like I
sorry.
don't know where the beginning is. Like I think that's the beginning.
The beginning is
And then his brother is also like a mass murderer or like a hired killer because
No.
he like assassinates someone in a car.
Well, I mean, he's,
everyone's just a murderer.
yeah.
Yeah, well, everyone has a gun. First of all, everyone just has guns on them all the time.
Yeah. People will show up at
Whatever
your
it's
house to
convenient.
shoot you, but then inadvertently give you a gun.
Yeah.
You'll just wrestle
And
it away
from there, I guess that's the plot. Or that's the premise.
I think you're
is
a little
that
confused.
it's this gay couple versus this hardcore Christian who
Ralph,
goes
you
to
just
church
sounded-
in this paper mache with.
You just
Sorry,
sounded like
you
a
go ahead.
maniac. If someone hadn't heard of the film or seen that, it would have sounded like you just were having some kind of fever dream.
Well, that
just made
perfectly
no
describes
fucking
the
sense.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's just start with the opening credits, right? Where like any amateur filmmaker who's just gets Windows Movie Maker credits themselves
Royalty-free
25,000
music.
times.
The
Yeah, royalty-free
entertainer.
music and their own name a million times, Hideo Kojima style. You know,
Yes.
directed by, written by, starring. And it's just
Sam
like,
Mravich. Mrow.
is that how you say his name?
That's how we were
He's the
saying
lead
it
actor.
when we watched
He's the
it.
lead actor, right? He plays
Mravich.
Arthur.
Yes. This is like I always found it so strange, you know how there's directors that have their passion projects and they throw themselves into something where it's like, I'm gonna write myself to make out with this hot chick, like Tommy Wiseau
Yeah.
in The Room
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
thing. Is like, I want to be with this girl. This is basically what happened with Ben and Arthur, except this time it's gay. You know, he's like,
Pretty
I'm
much.
gonna be dating this model, sort of thing. This weird.
So it's just the gay room.
Yeah, the guy looks like he does tech support, you know? Like he looks like a furry.
He also has a nude scene in this, which was a.
Oh yeah.
Just like the room.
There's
There
a
are
butt shot
loads
in
of
there.
weird
I
comparisons.
want to
with the room.
mention.
There's a naked
before-
baptism in the tub.
Oh yeah, like I didn't watch this whole movie before I recommended it because I wasn't entirely sure if
you
it was
watched
going
part
to
of
become
it?
a porno. Yeah, I've only seen parts of it before. Like I wasn't sure if it was a porno or not.
Okay,
and I
yeah,
didn't
it
want
felt
to
like
be
a porno.
Yeah, at
Yeah, it
first
did.
it definitely felt like a porno. Especially I checked the director's other work, and one of them like seems like a porno. So I don't know if this was a porno or what, but it's certainly on the quality level of a porno.
Yeah, it seemed like it might turn into a porno still at the end, where he tried to fuck
Yeah.
his brother.
Yeah, that was a little odd.
That was so weird.
There's a lot of odd things about it.
I need to ask, guys, what level of intoxication were you on when watching this, if any? I'm
Oh,
curious.
I watched
None.
it once drunk and once sober. So
Okay.
So I've
okay,
seen it
and Ralph,
twice,
You
by
were,
the
you
way.
were sober as well.
Yeah, I watched it sober. I wanted to get the full
Okay.
experience.
Okay, yeah, I watched it sober as well. I was
Okay.
kind of banking on one of
Unbiased.
you guys to
well,
go in.
yeah, because when I decided I was gonna watch it, I was like, okay, I've got to expose my friends to this too, and then it
Yeah.
just turned into like I don't know, what 6 or 7 people over, and turned into a bit of a have fun, drink and make fun of the movie sort of thing, and then by
Yeah.
the end of it, I was like, I didn't take any notes. That was great, but I need to watch this again sober, so I did.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was fun. And I feel like I understand the movie a lot better after having seen it twice. So I feel like I
I
get
feel
the
like
whole
I
thing.
understand it just fine. It's just complete nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But you
It's-
want to figure out like the logic in his head where like someone spends so much time making a movie and you got to wonder like why did you make this and what were you trying to do? And how did you not like realize while making it that just none of it makes any sense? There's that first scene he meets his brother. He's like, "Hi, it's me. Who? You're my brother. Oh, I haven't
didn't
seen you in
recognize
7
you."
years. It's like 7 years. You don't recognize your brother? You saw him 7 years ago. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. And also, like, he's talking. You should recognize your brothers. You should connect the
Yeah.
face and the voice, even if
How
they've
does the
gained weight
actor
or
not go-
something.
Does the actor not go like, this doesn't make sense. I have a brother, and I would remember his face after 7 years.
Yeah.
But they don't
and,
even think about that.
and let's not forget that despite being not even in contact for 7 years, all of a sudden he gets very obsessive over the sexuality of his brother. And he gets kicked out of the church for having a gay brother. The church doesn't want him anymore because his brother's gay, even though his brother doesn't even go to the church.
Yeah,
You know?
it makes no sense.
This cardboard church.
The cardboard church with the
Oh,
Jesus
no,
painting made. What is it? Fucking crayon. It looks like or marker.
He's got a great
It's so
desk.
funny.
This fucking like picnic table desk and like
Yeah.
shitty lawn chairs.
Do you guys think there was any of this that was tongue-in-cheek whatsoever?
No.
None. Absolutely
I
none.
don't think so.
So you think he wrote this as an actual like drama, as if it was a poignant
I think so.
drama?
I think he did. I think he wanted to
But
have like a
how?
social statement. There was like that moment at the beginning where gay marriage wasn't legalized in Hawaii, right? That's
Well,
what
it
happened.
was, and then it wasn't.
It was, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, they read the thing in the paper. They're like, "Hooray!" And then the radio was like, "Oh, sorry, it's a lie," or it was the other way around. I don't remember.
It was something like that, yeah. But that confused me too. But whatever. And fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. That's what this movie does to you. No.
But like, what? None of it makes any sense. It's like, how can you write? This is a comedy.
It's
like
great.
on paper, even on paper, you know, it's not like The Room where he thought, yeah, this is like a serious drama thing. But elements of like, yeah, I want to go back. Well, I want to go to university or whatever, so I can for business, so I can open a porno shop or whatever. Like what? Why is that a necessary detail? How is that not intended for comedic effect?
Well, yeah, I think he was trying to like over-exaggerate. Well, not trying to over-exaggerate, but unintentionally exaggerating the attributes of both sides of the argument. So it's like, okay, so the gay characters are really gay. Like he's gonna open up a porno shop. He has a dildo. Tells his brother to fuck him in the ass as like a comeback, you know. And the Christian guy is gonna be like super Christian. Like he lives for the church. He literally, one of the lines is like, "I donated like $8,000 to you guys," when they're kicking him out anyway. They're like, "Sorry, your brother's gay." Like everybody is the most exaggerated version of what this film, I guess, is trying to tackle as an issue. And it does not work. It is not realistic in the slightest.
You don't think it's realistic?
Parts of it, maybe. It was a really realistic shooting scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
a lot
that was
of
my
hardcore
favorite
Christians
scene.
Just go out. Oh, that's the best scene. It has like EDM playing on top of it.
Yeah, and like before you even know that he's gonna do anything, like you're like, what is he doing? Like this music is implying that he's doing something. He sneaks into the garage, and we get this techno music over the world's slowest reverse park job. And it was so glorious. And then he just comes out of nowhere, pulls out a gun, and just kills her and leaves. It was the best scene of any movie. It was
awesome.
I wonder if that scene's on YouTube. Somebody should clip that.
Apparently, the whole film's on YouTube. I didn't know that. I paid money for it.
I think it just got uploaded
just the one scene
for us.
Oh, really?
That's funny.
Yeah,
but
I think that's
there's that scene where Adam, you remind me, you're the expert on this film now. There's like a private investigator that gets hired, right? Who is it that hires the private investigator? Is it the main guy or the brother? It's the brother, right?
It's the brother that hires the private investigator. There's a scene where he's like looking through the phone books and like very intently using his finger to point at the word private investigator. And there's a computer right next to him too.
When the PI arrives though, he says, "Oh, sorry, I'm not like an actual private investigator. I'm the intern for a private investigator." Like, what? Why? Is that just because the guy looks so young? Is that
maybe
it?
that? I think it was also to try and explain why his morals are so loose. Because like the guy clearly just says like, "I don't like that my brother's gay. You want to spy on him?" And he's like, "Oh, I guess I gotta this. Maybe this is what the job is like, or I don't know." You know, or maybe it's to try and explain why he didn't like report the guy for killing this girl. Like he had to have found out about that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this person of interest that he was spying on all of a sudden gets murdered right after you give the guy the information of her whereabouts. Okay, like it was probably nothing. It's probably a coincidence.
It seems like this whole film seems like a parody written by aliens who are trying to make fun of humans.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
It's completely absurd.
What about Ben's girlfriend character, and they have like a little tussle after she holds him at gunpoint for some reason, and she's like, "I want you to get back together with me," and he's like, "No," and then they roll around on the floor. That scene is fucking hilarious. It's probably like the second best scene.
I remember during that scene there was some wicked cinematography was like handheld, like back and
Yeah,
forth from
yeah, I
their
remember that.
faces and like
Oh, yeah.
around.
It was
them,
like doing a 360 around them.
as much movement as
Oh,
you can
man.
get in that apartment room.
Why were they boiling holy water and calling it a potion?
I think
Does this guy like know what religion is?
Yeah, I think he's got a really warped perception of Christians. Like, I don't know why they had. He's like, it's my secret recipe for holy water. It's like all you need is just regular water blessed by somebody. You know, like that's what holy water is. You don't need to make it. You don't need to mix ingredients. Like, what the fuck is going
just
on?
go to the cardboard church with the priest.
And then his
like he has like a clay cross on him, right? Wasn't his cross like some fucking ridiculous fake thing that no priest would ever wear?
The top of the cross was like a triangle for some reason.
Yeah.
How can you fuck up a cross?
The least convincing priest I think I've ever seen in a film.
I love how the brothers' master plan was to put the holy water in a tiny little like shampoo bottle or spray bottle or something, and then just tape it to his door.
Yeah.
And that's it. As though like he would look, he would open his door and be like, "Oh, what's this?" and like pour it on himself. Like what? And then immediately the guy, Arthur, grabs the bottle and he's like, "Oh, this is just some stupid holy water potion my brother tried to give me." He's like, "You didn't write anything on it. How did you get all that information?" So you literally just like, I guess he's just expecting it at that point. Like this is the next logical progression here.
He's always just taping holy water to his door.
Yeah. It's not the first time.
Adam, you mentioned at the end of the movie where there's the confrontation with the brothers, and Arthur is like, "Yeah, you want to fuck me, bro, don't you?" Can you explain that to me? Where did that come from? Why did that happen? What? Why?
I think that the intent of the film was to imply that the brother had repressed homosexual thoughts, and they didn't very clearly communicate it. And I don't know, maybe the guy was just still high off of that those drugs that he forced into him. Like maybe it was
surely Ben should be the one doing that though, because then it wouldn't be like incest.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, it's. I don't know what his intention was. I don't know if he actually
wasn't Ben killed by then?
Yeah, Ben died.
We got to go down the order of murder because I'm trying to work out my brain. Yeah, there's the woman first in the parking lot, right? That's like
doesn't Arthur murder someone first?
Yeah, Arthur kills the priest. I don't know if that was before Ben or after Ben.
Yeah,
but
it was
he
before
kills
Ben.
the priest and then burns the church down.
Well, we don't really know. He could have not done it because there was no fire. It was just he lit a match and then tossed it on the ground where this knocked out priest was. We don't know.
He was implying there was a fire. Like,
it looks like the match
thing.
Was not lit by the time it hit the ground, though. Like you'd think he would just light the match.
If he actually lit it,
yeah,
he probably used real gasoline, and he's like, I can't actually use a match.
Did you like when they just jammed a cigarette into the barrel of the gun after they shot it?
I don't even remember that.
The gun was smoking, and it was like clearly they just jammed a cigarette.
Oh yeah,
is that what they did?
There was like ash falling out.
What they did?
Well, I mean, you can see like ash falling from the barrel of the gun. It's kind of funny.
That's clever. That's clever.
That's
Good
genius.
job, guys.
We did it.
That's some real do-it-yourself filmmaking. Congrats. Yeah. What was the budget on this?
I don't know, because like you were trying to explain this movie to me sometime, and I think you told me like that it was surprisingly high or something. Like you said that there was a theory that the director like stole the money or something. That's
after last season.
Oh, that's another one. Okay.
Yeah, that's another one.
You should recommend
that one had a $5 million budget. Yeah, that one looks even worse than this, if you can imagine that shit.
Okay.
But and that one's shot on film. This was like some dumb
confused.
camcorder.
Yeah.
The budget on this was $40,000 though, and $40,000 that's fucking ridiculous. Honestly, I don't know what. Because it's not like he had a crew or anything. He hired some actors, right?
And he filmed it in his apartment.
The whole film. Yeah.
And it looks so fucking bad.
That's what all the money went to.
But how
The
can you
paper
have
mache window.
so many different people were in this film though, and not one person once questioned it, right? Like, someone edited this, someone watched this, and they never said a word. They just thought it was okay.
Well, they're getting paid, right? So it's like,
I don't know.
am I going
They
to
just
tell
seem
this
like
nut
his
job what to
friends.
do?
I think
buddies to me.
He had a budget, so I'm guessing he got actors. Maybe one of them was his friend, but
I have to assume that a lot of people in the film were doing it because of the message. Like, he was like, okay, I'm going to make a film that tackles the issue of hate against gays and how religion tries to drive people apart, et cetera, et cetera. And you can tell somebody that they don't know what the fuck the quality is going to be like, and they'll probably agree to it. Did you notice how, like, every character in the film looked like they were a raging homosexual? Did you notice how, like, the private investigator looked super gay, too? Like, the brother,
and
definitely.
The brother who hates gays.
Yeah, everybody's super gay in this movie. It's really funny. So I think that might be why.
yeah.
It was just like a sympathy kind of like, oh, okay, you're tackling an issue. Like how Vivica A. Fox was in Cool Cat, you know? It's like, oh, anti-bullying?
They were
Sure.
stopping.
You only need me for like
Gotta
2
stop
minutes?
bullying.
Okay.
It's what makes the film work is the fact that Sam, what was it, Meowvich?
Meowvich!
Yeah, he's kind of the only one taking it extremely seriously. So everything he says is absolutely gold, and every other actor you catch glimpsing the camera now and again.
Oh, man.
Sheepishly, like they know what's going on, but they don't want to say anything.
There were points in the film where it was clear that literally the only people there were just the actors. So, like, Ben and Arthur were arguing with each other over the bike that was missing. And then you very clearly hear that, as I think it was Ben was arguing with him, you could hear him as though he were the cameraman. Like, you could hear his mouth right next to the microphone of the built-in microphone of this camera. And it was so bizarre. So it's like the cameraman on set is just whoever isn't in the shot.
Yeah.
Really.
It's
But
awesome.
that argument was brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ben gets angry at Arthur for not locking up his bike, but then somehow it ends with Ben apologizing to Arthur for getting angry, even though it's completely Arthur's fault for just not locking the bike up, and he gets in like a strop.
And then domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? This is why no one wants you to get married. Because you're violent.
I just don't understand how you can think anyone acts like any of these people. They're like so ridiculous.
It's a metaphor. Maybe it's not smart enough, or you're not smart enough to get it.
That's
Probably.
definitely it.
Yeah.
So you both watched it through that Vimeo purchase, right?
Yeah,
I didn't.
I couldn't get it anywhere
No, you
else.
didn't? Did you get the DVD?
No, I watched it on Vimeo.
Oh, okay, you said you did. I thought you said you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I've got a special little tidbit of information. So the DVD that I got, there's no special features, but the DVD menu is basically just, like any other DVD menu, just clips from the film in the background. It's like, okay, this is interesting. They're playing that shitty song from the beginning, The Entertainer. But if you leave the DVD for like, I don't know, a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes on the menu, it spoils the whole fucking movie. They literally show like the shootout at the end. They literally show like 30 seconds worth of like the shootout at the end at the same time that they're playing the song The Entertainer. That shitty like what the fuck? It was so bizarre. I'm like, why would we even watch the movie? Like, you just gave away the whole movie. You just showed all of it.
You gotta get people excited in the main
Why
menu.
would you do that? It's so bizarre.
How did you even get it on DVD? Where did you find it?
Amazon.
Okay, It was a ridiculous price in the UK to get it on DVD, so...
I had to order it from the States, Amazon. It was on Prime there, but not in Canada. But yeah, shortly after our podcast episode aired, then all of them were gone. So I got mine quick.
Oh,
and it showed up surprisingly fast.
Huh.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would have just gotten the Vimeo link while I was waiting for it to show up here. Anyway, I think my favorite character was the mattress leaning against the wall.
the best written character in the film. Yeah.
I feel like that was there because this apartment would usually have someone sleeping on the floor, but then they just moved it to film.
Oh no. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't even think
That's
about
my
it.
theory.
No, I think it was part of the mise en scene. I think they put it in there. So they were like, now this room has a whole backstory. This mattress has a whole backstory. And you have to figure it out. This is good filmmaking. Really.
Did you like when Ben shows up for the first time at the beginning of the movie and they play that like chime sound effect? It's so weird. Do you remember that, Ralph?
That. No,
literally, it's like at the beginning of the movie.
I mean, there's
it's so
a lot
out
of things
place.
to remember.
I love
I didn't write that down in my
how
notes.
they filmed the whole thing in LA, but then they were pretending like it was other places. Like, we're in Hawaii now, and it was just them at a pool. like,
was there even a pool?
There was a pool at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looked like they were just sat in their back garden or something.
I love the ending too. The ending is great. Do you want to describe it?
Yeah,
like the last minute.
Oh, so Arthur's brother shows up to their apartment and he brings this random guy that he paid to beat Ben up earlier. And
he
then
also has a different gun.
Yeah.
Because earlier he had like a Beretta, and then it would look like a rubber like ray gun or something you get at like a Halloween store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Arthur also had the same gun.
Both of them make it all the way up to the apartment, and they're like right outside his door before Arthur's brother changes his mind and says like, no, just go wait in the car. If I'm not back in half an hour, then leave. And as he's saying this, it's obvious that actor isn't even there. Like, he's just talking to no one in the hallway. So
there's a lot of that in this movie.
So he rings the doorbell, which is mysteriously placed in the center of the door. and then Ben answers the door and then just gets shot immediately. And then Arthur dries off from the shower and just, kind of casually strolls in because it's a very quiet gun. So it has quiet sounds, this gun. And I guess Ben's dead and Arthur's just standing there. And then, Arthur's brother is just standing there. Arthur decides to cradle Ben and starts crying, and everything trips out for no reason. They drag the frames, and it's like they're high, but they're not. Just one of them's dying.
Yeah.
And then
that was a good effect.
And then Arthur's brother is like, yo, I'm gonna make you fall asleep now, and chloroforms him, only to then wake him up and then point a gun at him and say, you need to accept Jesus into your heart, as though he needed to make him pass out to do that.
Yeah.
And then he gives him a naked baptism in the tub and then makes him pass out again. So chloroforms him for a second time. Then I guess he gets bored and goes on the computer and Arthur wakes up and Arthur has his own gun at that point?
Yeah. He has the ray gun.
Yeah.
He has the same gun that his brother had for some reason.
And then Arthur tries to fuck him. He's like, yo, you want to fuck your brother? And then they shoot each other. And we get
and then the movie literally ends, right?
I felt like that What You Say song should have been playing. Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. That would have been appropriate for that. That was a
like
great movie.
Been anything.
Yeah, it's so weird how the movie just ends immediately.
Yeah.
Like right
it ends
after
immediately
that.
after the climax. It fucking builds up, they both
Literally
get shot,
dead.
and then the movie fucking ends.
It was a pretty great ending.
It's awesome. We were like, that's it?
Yeah.
I was happy, man. I was fucking glad it was over.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, so I guess that's a good thing. It's a very unexpected movie. Say whatever you want. There's a lot of twists and turns in this. And it goes a lot of directions I was not expecting.
The same twist and turn over and over. It's so fucking repetitive. It's like the same thing over and over. It's like random character for some reason has a gun and then they go and threaten someone and then someone gets murdered and then either something to do with being gay or loving Jesus comes
Yeah.
up, and it just repeats until then the end flashes on the screen.
Well, the moral of the story is don't tell your church you have a gay brother or they'll kick you out. So
They'll try
They
and
won't,
murder
though.
you, yeah. They'll get you assassinated.
I don't even
That's
think
what
in
the church
2002.
represents.
Yeah, not even 2002 they did that.
well, I mean,
It's fucking ridiculous.
you can't kick. I mean, even if you hate gay people, to kick someone out of your church because somebody has a gay brother, even though the
Makes
person
no
you
sense.
kicked out is actively trying to stop this. Like, the person you kicked out didn't even talk to them in 7 years, you know? Like, they don't really
There's
have
just-
that much of a relationship. Why are you kicking this person out of your church who donated $8,000 to you?
There's just no conflict in the movie.
What does he do?
The brother, I don't know, but the brother's
has
just
so
like,
much money.
I want you to be Christian and stop being gay, and the brother's just like, no, consistently, and that's it. Like, there's no no one changes or goes through anything. It's just the same fucking thing. Them arguing about that same thing, and then they just shoot each other because they can't work it out, and then the movie ends.
That's a good summary, actually.
It's
pretty
fucking
accurate.
great. It is.
I love how many animals the brother had. Like, he had like a cat,
Oh, yeah.
a cat for every angle.
He clearly just wanted to show off his cats.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to
that's
be
what
like
it
an
is.
evil genius thing.
Maybe.
I like when they went to, I think it was Vermont, to get married, and they had this weird line where he's like, "I forgot the rings. Can we do without?" And the priest is like, "Yes, we can do it without the rings." And I think that line was just in there just so that they didn't need a prop for a ring.
Exactly.
I think that's the only reason, because that doesn't come into play in any way whatsoever. It was just, and there was no close up. I mean, they could have just pretended to put rings on. It was the shot was set
Right.
from so far away. Like, just don't film a
It's
close up
shitty
of their
quality as
hands.
well.
That's hard though.
You
It
know?
takes time. How about, oh my god, there's that scene, it's toward the end when Arthur's brother and this other guy go to like his apartment, and then in the middle of the hallway, there's just a shot of Arthur's brother going like, "Hey man, I don't need you here anymore. Why don't you wait outside?"
Yeah, that's what
And
I was
then like you
mentioning.
never see a reverse angle. It's clear they just couldn't get that actor on that day, so they came up with some bullshit.
Yeah, that was right before the end of the movie.
Yeah,
I like.
it's fucking.
I don't know if you guys noticed when they were filming shots of the planes going to and from Vermont. Theoretically, the one going back was a FedEx plane. So like,
Yeah,
I guess,
fucking just shipped himself there.
yeah, they stowed away on the FedEx plane.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
That's the canon for the film, is they
but
hitched a ride.
you can't just wait for another plane, like a real plane, to come by and film that.
They could have just reversed the shot of the first plane.
They could have done
It was
that.
landing
I got
backwards.
stock footage for $50 of a plane landing. You can go online right now. You could probably get it for free if you really
Yeah, you
wanted to
probably
somewhere.
could.
And he's like, nah, FedEx plane. Right, that's why I think it's purposeful.
Did you guys like the sex scene
Oh,
where they're
God.
like, there was like covers between them, and they were just both facing each other
really?
and rubbing each other missionary? Like,
I was
they were
trying to
just
figure out what
really
they were
high
doing,
on
yeah.
Molly or something, and they weren't actually fucking. They were just cuddling.
Just rubbing.
And then the one guy turns into a bouquet of flowers.
Oh yeah.
God, I don't remember either. There's so much. There's
Oh,
so
you
much
should just watch it
information
a
to
second
retain.
time. It is
Yeah, I
better
really
the
need
second
to.
time. I'm not even kidding.
I bet it is. I need to watch it intoxicated.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like it's the best way to enjoy this.
Yeah, I need.
So-
I
need,
think I
like,
enjoyed it more when I was
alcohol.
sober. It's just such
Really?
a good movie.
Mm.
You appreciate a lot
Yeah.
about it, and the more you
Yeah, you can
understand the
appreciate
story,
the social
you know?
messages.
like I never knew that I could use a paperclip as a lockpick until I watched the movie.
Makes
You know,
no sense.
you just turn it in the keyhole like it's a key, and that's it.
Yeah, you think if it was that easy, they'd
Yeah.
find another way, you know, to aside from locks, because clearly they're not that efficient. If you could just take a fucking paper clip. and break
Did
in.
you Did you guys? There was this really weird line. I think near the end of the movie where Arthur's brother is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill him just like I did your little faggot friend when you were little," and So it's like he's been like killing his friends his whole life. Like as they were growing up, he like shot one of his friends and just told him now. And Arthur seems to have no emotional response to this. He like immediately Arthur's just with a comeback. He's like, yeah, well, we love each other. Like it didn't even register with him. Like, oh, that's how my friend died, and I never found out about it until now. Like, you shot my friend when we were little. It's like, how much of an age gap is there? Were they both children? And he, like, shot his friend, now bragging about it? It's so weird.
I was just trying to figure it out the whole time. Why it was being made. If it was, like, a porno at first, and then they didn't shoot the sex scenes, or...
That would be funny.
Story.
If, like, the ending... I think they had something else planned for that ending, honestly. And then, like, they lost that actor, that extra guy, who they have to, say left the building for some reason. I wonder if there was something with him, and they had to just rewrite the whole scene that day because they couldn't get him. I don't know what happened, but it's a fucking disaster, and it's awesome.
You used the term rewrite. Do you think they actually wrote anything?
I bet he wrote something on a napkin.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, you need to know what scenes you gotta shoot. Probably wrote that down.
It has no structure.
Their lawyer friend was clearly reading off the script. She's like, I've got this legal document here, and it's not the script.
He probably had some, like, out-of-sequence scenes written down that he wanted to film, and then he shot them. Mm-hmm. And that was it. That might be... I mean, I just don't know. I just try to figure out the thought process of shit like this, and it's almost impossible.
Did you notice how it was quite sort of anti-women for a bit? Like, all the women characters are like, you kept referring to them as like fucking bitches and like...
Yeah. It was like, don't date women because they're all pieces of shit. You should date men.
Yeah.
All men should just date men. It was like, that's what it was trying to say.
You try to divorce her and she comes back with a gun.
Yeah, and then they roll around on the floor.
Women, am I right?
A minute.
What about when he's working in that like cafe diner thing?
Oh yeah,
and there's that woman.
That was a good scene where they were pouring coffee into like soda cups because they couldn't find a mug. More sugar.
Hot coffee melt the plastic?
It didn't make any sense. Like they were clearly just pouring water or nothing. And this crazy lady just demands more sugar, like, I need more sugar. And then he goes to the back room. They both work at the same job. Apparently Ben's job is just spraying the sink repeatedly. Yeah, so Arthur goes back to Ben and asks his permission if it's okay to quit, even though he's not his boss. He's just like, hey, will you be fine today? Can I quit? He's like, yeah. And then he immediately goes back outside. She's like, where's the sugar? I thought you were going to get the sugar. And he just laughs and goes, ha ha ha, and leaves out into like the 2 a.m. night outside the restaurant. What a great
that
scene.
Woman comes to their apartment.
Oh, yeah. Like reused actor.
Yeah.
Reused actor.
It's like a different character.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe she played a different character. They couldn't afford.
I think
else.
so. I think it's all just friends. I don't know where the $40,000 went, to be honest. But maybe it was
just made that up. Maybe it was like $8. He had like some camcorder from the 90s, and he's like, let's make a movie.
Oh my god! I'm just remembering when he was wearing socks and sandals and doing a dainty little run. Like when he's like, I think it might have been after he theoretically burned the church down. He's just like running away with like his limp wrists, just doing a little skip.
He wears those socks and sandals like in multiple scenes.
It's so funny.
Is that just his outfit? Is that
think
what he wears?
Doesn't see anything wrong with it.
That's just
the
character,
2000s were lame, but
it's good. It's good costume design. It's good production design. Really, it elaborates on the character. That's not the right word.
Well, what about my favorite scene in the movie is when the brother has like a meltdown in his bedroom and starts punching his bed.
There was a Pokemon poster in the background.
The freak out scene.
It was on his door.
Oh yeah.
It seemed like he didn't even know why he was angry. It was fucking brilliant. I love
because he probably
that
didn't.
Yeah.
The director's just like, be mad. Okay, I'll hit the bed for a bit. Did you guys like the audition scene toward the beginning?
Oh yeah, that was a great scene.
Remind me,
awesome.
I can't remember.
When he's looking for jobs.
Yeah, and he's like starts doing a dance in front of this interviewer.
Oh yeah. God,
With
that
no
was
music.
weird.
Awesome. There was no music. No, it was just he was just posing.
And he's like, very nice. Can I see your penis? And it's like, aw.
It was
Now
supposed
I
to be
don't
like a
want this
comedic
job.
moment.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god! I want to live in this guy's world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he thinks of himself as. Because, like, if he's doing that, I don't know how seriously he was playing off that scene, but, like, does he think that he could be, like, a stripper? He clearly put, like, those butt shots of himself into the movie as he's, like, laying on the bed after he got chloroformed. Like, that's supposed to be a butt shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He clearly thinks he's more attractive than he actually is.
Yeah.
Which is okay. It's just, it's clear he has an ego and he's trying to gloat. Like, oh, look how many guys I hook up with. Look at my hot fucking boyfriend.
Yeah. I'm dating a model.
And it's like, it's like, oh my god, dude. Come on.
He's the
You're
most
doing
middle-aged
everything.
looking guy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like balding, glasses,
Bald.
Yeah.
Come on.
slightly pudgy,
Come on, dude.
awful dress sense. Just
Now we're just bullying.
oh come on.
I mean, I guess, but it's like if you're gonna put
not
your, like, I
realistic,
just
I
don't buy
know.
that character. Let's
Yeah.
break it down to poor casting. Let's just say that I don't buy him as that character.
But he wanted to cast himself as the good guy. And also
Of
the
course
guy
he
that's
did.
dating a model.
But he's the first person
'Cause
to
he's a
murder
narcissist.
someone in cold blood.
Is
no,
he?
I think no, that was after his brother murdered.
Okay, so my apologies.
Yeah.
This
And
is
we
brother
could go back
started it.
even further to when
Okay.
his brother murdered his
Yeah.
friend when they were little.
His gay
apparently,
friend. Yeah.
he's been just popping off his friends every year.
The
That's why they didn't
protagonist
talk in
murders
7 years.
a priest. He murders a priest and then burns down a church. But, it's a morally ambiguous character.
The church was wrong. It was
Yeah,
evil. It was an
exactly.
evil church.
Mm-hmm.
It was made of cardboard. Also,
What part of it does he think is morally right? Did he think were you supposed to think that he was justified in murdering these people?
yeah. What I don't understand about him murdering the priest is like, what kind of information does he have to justify that? Like, I get that we were shown that the priest is like working with this guy, and like, yes,
Yeah.
it is okay to kill people as long as it's for Jesus. But that I don't think Arthur ever got that information. He kind of just showed up and murdered him. Right?
I think the point is like bigotry just leads to anger and violence. So we need to all be accepting of each other. I think that's what he's trying. But again, his message is so, disjointed. There's this part in the beginning about like he says, I'm not gonna die for this country if they won't allow me to get married. So it becomes like a military message, and it's just like, where did that come from? What does that have to do with this other thing? And then it's never brought up again.
I think he's just trying to be preachy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
but
was
he had a
all
lot
about
of
the
like
gay marriage.
monologues like that, where it was clearly just him in his apartment, and he turned the camera on, and he pretended like there was another actor there, and he's like, the goddamn government taking my rights away, goddamn motherfuckers!
Oh man, I love that
Country
scene.
fucking sucks.
Yeah, fuck this country, fuck everybody.
When he disappears into a closet and starts trashing it, but you don't see it, and you just hear all the noise of him rummaging through shit, and he comes
Yeah.
back out and keeps yelling. That's great. I thought he fell down the stairs at first. That was a really good movie. There's just so much.
Yeah, I don't know
Like-
what else to. And it's short too. It's short, but
Short
and
but
it
sweet.
feels kind of short. Yeah, it's short but sweet, and
No,
you
it
feel
doesn't.
like you got
It felt like
nourished.
eternity.
Nah, it felt about right. I felt like I was satisfied by the end of it.
Yeah, I could watch this movie again. Easily.
Me too.
I've already seen
I
it
could
twice.
watch it again, but I'd have to watch it with someone. I couldn't watch it alone again.
I could
was
watch it
just
alone.
Fucking sad, man.
I need to watch it on like alcohol and heroin and LSD, just every
Yeah.
fucking drug. And,
Watching this movie on LSD would be a bad idea.
and heroin
In for a
at the
bad
same
trip.
time.
Yeah,
You never
probably a bad combo, but what do I know?
If you say so. Yeah, what do you know?
Yeah.
So
You've never
he
tried
would have
heroin and
been.
LSD at the same time?
He was
Okay,
born
sorry.
in 1976, right? The director, meaning
Oh.
he was. I just searched his name. So he's 42 now, meaning when this film came out, he would have been what, late 20s, early 30s.
The 42 minus 16.
26.
I'm sick. My brain's not even here. So
He was 26.
He was 26, I guess.
He's
when
fucking
this film-
lying, dude. He's not.
Yeah, he
That's
doesn't
not-
look 26. That's
Yeah,
2 years older than me.
He's not 26. He's like 30s in this.
I've seen
He's lying about his age.
26-year-olds that look like that, but they're all furries.
Yeah.
And they all do IT.
Oh,
They all work in computer jobs.
yeah, maybe he just has a very high stress job.
It might just be
know.
the hairline. Yeah,
Maybe.
That's all.
Yeah,
I don't
not
know,
everybody is so fortunate to have luxurious locks. You know?
But it's quite worrying that someone of that age, that mental capacity, can view people in this way. Like, this is the kind of thing you could pass off if you were 14, 15. It's like you know nothing. You know nothing about the world, how anything works. Religion is just this silly concept to you. You know, and sexuality, you still have no idea what you're talking about. But this is an adult. This is someone who should know at least something. What he sounds like he's someone who's passionate about these subjects, right?
Yeah.
He's passionate about it, and even he can't convey his message in a way that makes any sense.
No.
Well, just Christians hate gay people and they want to kill them, so you got to kill them first.
Yeah.
Why is it so
and women
extreme?
are bad. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Why is it so extreme? It's like every woman bad, Christians all bad.
We have to
Every
kill
gay, good.
everybody.
Yeah. It's so much murder.
Yeah, it's like, why don't you talk it out?
No, they don't
Straight
know
to
how.
murder. Everyone shoots everybody.
So bizarre. Such a great, amazing, short but sweet film. And I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10.
I'm with you.
Are you guys done talking about it?
the-
I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah, I am.
Like,
I
how
mean,
much?
I don't know what else
how
to
much
say.
can we
Right.
possibly
It's-
fucking say about this?
It's hilarious and it's awesome.
I think
give
we
it
touched on everything.
5 out of 5. Yeah.
For me, it's one of those. It's,
Movies.
I gave it half a star. But it's one of those, you know, when it's so bad, it is obviously so bad that it's good. I laughed so fucking much at this film.
Yeah,
Just
it's
how
pretty great.
utterly absurd it was. But at parts, it was making me feel like I was going insane, like all these characters, because it's so fucking claustrophobic because they use the same scenes over and over, the same characters, and it's shot in this in the same fucking way. This like really flat, constant medium shot that like is so fucking infuriating. And then now and again they zoom into their faces really awkwardly for way too long, and it's like you're just going mad the whole time, and it's so repetitive and just fucking goes nowhere. It has no structure. It's complete fucking nonsense. And yeah, half a star.
Yeah.
But you would recommend it.
The real rating.
I would recommend it though. I would
Yeah.
definitely recommend it.
I think we all
It's
recommend
just-
it.
They
Yeah.
clearly had no idea how to make a movie, and that's what makes it. That's
Yeah.
what makes it awesome.
When you're talking about
Nothing
like
was lit even. Like
Yeah.
they just turned the lights on in the room, and they're like, "That's the lighting."
Handycam held by the
Yeah, Handycam.
actors. Yeah.
Held by the actors.
Oh
Yeah.
You were saying that it would be excusable if he was like 15. I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like I've made better like short films when I was 15. You know, like more
At least
competent.
there'll be some basis then.
You
You
know?
could write it off as like at least he's 14, 15 or something.
Yeah, this guy's a child.
This is like an adult. Yeah.
And instead, he's a man-child. That explains it. All right, question time.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go into some questions. If you want to leave your own questions for us to answer on the show, head over to the Sardonicast Reddit, where Ralph normally leaves a funny post for you to leave your own questions.
That's right.
So, let's start with this one from Isaiah Lil Bear, who says, "Do you think it's okay to actually harm or kill animals to make a movie more authentic?"
No.
I wondered about this one.
The
Yeah. Okay, let's take I don't know, Apocalypse Now. Remember that scene towards the end where there's like a bull that kind of gets sliced apart?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that belongs in the film? Do you think it's justified?
I barely remember that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I watched the Redux version. I need to watch the real version still. And that was like 3.5 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, sometimes, I don't know the context that scene was filmed in, but Apocalypse Now was shot in a foreign country. So maybe they just happened to get footage of that being done just by the people who were living there, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes they show this footage of animals being killed, but they were going to be killed anyway. So they're just recording it, and they use it for their movie. But to, like, say, we're going to have an animal, bring him to set, and then kill him or her for the movie is fucked up.
It depends on the context,
totally.
really. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, if you watch, like, Benny's video, there's, like, scenes of pigs dying, like, where they're using that, like, nail gun on their heads, but it's, like, at a farm, so it's like, okay, you have to assume that it's part of the process.
They were going to do it anyway, so we're just recording it. That's okay.
But then, like, do you disagree with the old boy scene where he eats the squid, the octopus or whatever? It's like, I don't know. Is that a food animal? Like, it's kind of like a morally gray area because we all treat animals like shit on an industrial level in the first place. It's like it's not killing an animal in a movie probably isn't worse than buying foie gras, you know, if you think about it.
But if you're gonna eat the animal, at least, you know,
you might as well torture it before you eat it.
Well,
you might as well torture it while it's alive.
You're eating the animal, so it is of some use. To kill an animal for entertainment is like, first of all, no one's entertained by that really, unless it's fake. And like, why do you even need to do it?
Yeah, it's probably unnecessary and a bad idea. It's not something I would ever do.
I remember trying to watch Cannibal Holocaust. Have you guys seen that movie?
Yes. Yeah, that's a great soundtrack.
Well, there's a scene where they like pull a turtle out of the water and like murder an actual real live turtle with like the actors crying and stuff. That's when I turned it off because it's not like the only animal death as well in that movie. It's just like, why did that need to be in there?
Yeah, that movie was just trying to be shocking. Like really. Like when it came out, all the actors signed agreements to go quiet for like a year, so everyone thought those actors actually died in the movie.
Yeah,
you know, because it's done like a found footage thing.
But like, why'd they have to kill a turtle for it?
Because it shocks the audience, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And that creates controversy, which sells tickets. It was a dumb phase, and I hope we're past that shit.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. I'm honestly more upset at like the way that dogs are used in films, you know, where it's like a lot. In a lot of cases, like you look at certain movies, like dogs and horses, especially. Whenever you get films like, can't think of a good example, but there's so many cases where the dogs were just like being abused on set, or like whenever they film a movie that's all about this girl that's like, oh, I want to live with the horses and they understand me. And then you find out that like 30 horses died on set, you know, or like Milo and Otis. Are you guys aware of that film?
No, I'm not.
No.
Yeah, it was made by some Japanese guy and he went through like 30 different versions of the animals.
Wow.
Dude.
Like theoretically, but it's just like there's very low standards when it comes to animals in films in the first place.
I think what was it called? A Dog's Purpose or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when that film was coming out?
Yeah.
There was like a clip of an Alsatian that like nearly drowned.
But that was, I think that was like BS. I think the trainer was trying to help him or something, and then they took it out of context and made it look like the trainer was drowning the dog. I don't know exactly what it was. But...
I've seen the clip though, man. It looks, it doesn't look happy.
Well, it doesn't look happy, but I think it was like the dog was drowning and the guy saved. I don't know what the hell happened there, but from what I remember, people were misreporting it to make it look like dog abuse.
I think in general, if you're going to use
really happens
an animal in a movie, you probably just should avoid writing shit of like, oh, and then the dog saved the person from drowning, where you know you're just going to have to, you know, put the dog in the water and make it do shit that it doesn't want to do. Why don't you just write movies where it's like, and the dog was just their friend, and you know they played fetch,
but dogs
and just like
dogs
write
do
for
those
dogs
things
that,
sometimes.
All
if
right,
your master
then,
wants you to like fucking go swim, the dog will go swim.
depending on the dog.
Really, I guess it
I mean,
depends on the
like-
dog, but if it's like these trained Hollywood dogs, they love it. You give them a treat, you know, they're happy.
I guess.
Yeah. And they swap them out. Like, I think the cruelty to animals thing is really not tolerated in Hollywood that much now or recently. I can't think of a recent example of them abusing an animal on set. They've
That we
always
know
got those
of.
people on. Yeah, that we know of. But I honestly just think it doesn't happen. And if it did happen, people would sue. The owners of the dog would. I just don't think it happens anymore.
I don't know. I feel
Okay.
like a lot of people that use their dogs to make money are probably exploiting them in some way, you know, and they're comfortable with exploiting them. Remember that scene in like Bruno where the parents
I was about to
were
say.
like, "Oh yeah, my baby's fine with anything," because it's like that's their paycheck, right? And
Yeah.
I'd imagine that a lot of people, especially in Hollywood, are similar with their animals, where they're like, "Oh well, that's my paycheck. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do," and it's like it's at the dog's expense, not mine, you know.
Yeah, but they have PETA there to make sure the dog's not doing anything.
Do they?
I think they do. They always say they do whenever there's an animal.
I don't know. They always say a lot of things for legal reasons.
Well, I'll believe them for now because I wasn't there. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm okay with that. It's your dog. You know, you give your dog a treat and it does a little thing on set. That's not hurting anybody, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try and lighten the mood with something more more positive. God, these names. Graudaka HG, yeah. Says, seeing as the month of October is coming up or now, what horror films do you consider to be the best? Whether it be in terms of how they scare you or just their overall quality.
The Thing.
Great
Yeah,
movie.
that's one of mine too. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's my favorite. And also one that I would consider to probably be the best, so in my
Like
opinion.
all time, that's your favorite one.
Yeah.
Good choice, yeah.
In terms of like well made, yeah, The Thing.
Everything
anything
about
from John
it.
Carpenter. The Halloween for John Carpenter's
Mhm.
Halloween is fantastic as well.
The Shining,
The Shining's a great one. Kubrick, Me Boy,
Alien.
Exorcist.
Do you guys like The Fly?
The Fly is really good. You mean the Jeff Goldblum one?
Yeah, the
Right.
Goldblum.
I wasn't big
Yeah,
on
I
it.
like that
I
one.
really liked the effects, but I was kind of bored for most of the movie. Like it was some really
seen it
cool
for a
Also-
while, but I like that one.
practical effects.
I don't
but
think that's a
about
good
it.
horror movie either. Like it's a good like sci-fi moral.
It's pretty horrible by the end.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes are pretty horrifying, but like the rest of it is not a horror movie. You know, like picture a horror movie like you sit down with your friends and watch something, or your girlfriend watch something. Like I don't know, Wreck is a great one.
Oh yeah,
Wreck
Wreck and
2
Wreck
is
2.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, we could list a bunch. I think we've done this before.
What,
I think-
horror movies?
I don't know. I don't know if that was the
don't
exact.
think so.
I don't think it was the exact
remember.
question that we got, but I seem
No,
to
it
remember
just
us
fits in with
listing through a
October.
bunch of
Halloween
horror
movies.
movies.
Yeah. Well, we'll phrase it as Halloween movies and give the same
Yeah.
list.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
The top rated comment of this thread was from Shanbomb111, who says, "How, if at all, did your upbringing affect your movie tastes?"
I like crime movies because I grew up in New York and Queens, where like there's a lot of
Yeah, makes sense.
organized crime and mafia, whatever. Not a lot, but there used to be. So I come from people who used to live with that shit. So I find all that
Yeah.
interesting, and I wouldn't find
Yeah.
that interesting unless I had an upbringing here. So
I always had an interest from a young age in kind of horror type things, from asking my parents about like DVD covers, or it would have been VHS covers and stuff, and they'd tell me little snippets, and they eventually let me rent, I think it was Tremors or something like that, and I was just obsessed with Tremors, Aliens, RoboCop, all the really violent kind of horror movies from then. So that kind of started that whole interest, and it kind of stemmed from there.
how old were you then when this happened?
I'm trying to remember. Probably 11, 12 or something.
Yeah, that's around mine too. I just became obsessed with like violent horror movies.
Yeah, I feel like it's the perfect time.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time to get into that kind of thing.
That shit's awesome.
You still know that it's not real, and you start to appreciate that kind of aspect of it, and it's still quite scary to you then too.
Yeah, I wish I could get scared the same way I did when I was like 13.
Yeah, same.
I'm glad I watched those horror movies then, even though my mom was like, "You're gonna turn into a psychopath." I rented 7 VHS films a week because there was a deal at the video store. 7 movies, 7 days, $7. I was like, hot damn.
Nice.
It was only their old stuff, but it was like, you know, I went through all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Friday the 13th, and like these cheesy slasher movies. Like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, I guess how I was raised and how it affects my taste. I do remember my dad always being very, very critical of the movies that we were watching. Like, and he still is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he complains about things in movies out loud sometimes. And I remember there was that Michael Keaton movie, Jack Frost, I think it was called. And, and he was like, "Yeah, that's stupid. When your dad dies, he's dead. He's not gonna come back as a snowman." And he hated the movie because of the idea that these kids still had their dad after he died. Yeah, I guess some of that just rubbed off on me. Maybe.
My dad was that way too, being critical of movies. He wasn't as detailed as you. He would usually just say like, "Oh, that was a bunch of shit," and then walk away. We probably all grew up with like critical fucking people around us.
Yeah.
Constantly nitpicked movies, and we got it from them.
Yeah, in a way.
They doomed us to this fate.
Yeah.
Sorry. Another question?
M. Night needs an Oscar. Says, what do you think is your worst video? Your absolute worst video
on all of
what
my
pops
channels.
Into your head. Yeah, go on. Whatever pops into your head.
Is that? Should I say one that that's not even online anymore? Like, I guess because I'm thinking of one. Yeah, I'm thinking of one back on my like Dark Ocean Films channel that like I deleted because I didn't like it. There's a few of those, but it was like I was 15 or something, and I was so naive at the time that whenever there was like a contest for something, like, oh, submit a video, or like, oh, submit your music, I would try without fully realizing that like the type of content I produce does not match what they're looking for at all. You know. And I made this really like pretend, like the theme of it was like environmentalism, and I made a really like pretentious and preachy, like angsty little short movie about how we're destroying the planet, man. And then one of the shots in it is like me smoking in a tree, and I didn't notice the contradiction because I was a dumb little child. And I was like, wow, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I guess that's my worst video. You can't find it anymore, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Alex, go ahead. I can't think of one.
I've got one for HE and one old one, like Adam's example. It was called Dubstep Parkour 2. It was a sequel to the first one. It was just the most embarrassing thing.
Oh, that's great.
Ever put on in editing software. I actually deleted it. Like I tried to keep copies of all the old stuff because I think it's just so funny now. I have most of it, but that was one that was so abysmal. I just got rid of it entirely.
Just not even funny.
Yeah,
you're just like embarrassed. I know exactly what you're talking about. I got tons of those.
Yeah.
I made so many shitty things when I was 13.
Yeah, exactly. Just so embarrassing.
I got a lot of those. So those are all private though. There's one that's public that I didn't make it public. It got leaked. So it's uploaded on someone else's channel. It's a movie I made when I was like 11. It's called Band Battle. It's fucking awful. Awful.
Band battle.
Band battle. I fight my twin brother Kyle in like we're out in the snow and we fight with like he has two sidekicks and an Indian kid with a piano, my friend Devinder, and then Vincent, who's like, God, what was he playing? The bass guitar. And then I have like my brother who's on a Guitar Hero drum, and my friend Skid Arrow on a guitar. Like, it was the dumbest fucking movie maybe ever made. Up there with Ben and Arthur, but I mean, it's pretty funny. So, and that's the worst video I have online right now. So,
yeah, I hate a lot of my old videos. So,
yeah, you should. I mean, that's natural. Shows you're getting better.
Yeah, it's better than I hate when you sort someone's videos by oldest to newest, and there's no difference.
Oh yeah, that's frustrating. No, I agree with you. Do we want to do one final question?
Sure.
Could do one here. Yeah. One more sort of irrelevant topic, I suppose. Hopefully you guys know something about it. _guy_ says, what do you think of Shane Dawson's documentary series? Do you think this is a step in the right direction for filmmaking on YouTube?
Topical. That's great, actually, because my throat hurt so much last night I couldn't sleep. I started watching it and then stopped watching it, not because I fell asleep, but because it was trash by the second episode. I was like, at the first episode, I was like, okay, I'm like maybe a little intrigued, maybe. Second episode, I was just like, this is bullshit. And apparently there's going to be 8 of them, and they're all like 40 minutes long. It drags on for fucking forever. It's so stretched out. It's so cheesy. It's over dramatic. Like, it feels so fake. It's overproduced. The psychology shit that they throw in there is really not, like, it doesn't seem professional or accurate. She's listing off these like really vague ideas of what it means to be a sociopath. You know, and she's like, I can feel it when they walk in the room. It's like, you shouldn't. I don't trust your credibility when you say you can feel someone's a fucking sociopath just by them walking in the room. Like, this is bullshit. Keep playing that dumb suspenseful music over top of it. Like, this is like this is worse than like shitty TV. You know. So no, I don't think it's like a step in the right direction. It's like it's longer form content. So. That's, I guess, kind of cool, but like. God, it's like as if not more manipulative and terrible than like any random schlock you could find on cable.
Oh yeah, if not worse.
Yeah, and by the end of it, I'm calling it now. He's gonna be like, "Well, it's inconclusive whether or not he's a sociopath. Some would say he is. Some would say he isn't." Like, that's my fucking prediction. Let's see if I'm right, but. Yeah.
I was most annoyed by everyone was praising sort of how professional it was, and then when I was on it, I was like, "What? It just looks like a YouTube video. It just looks like a vlog. What are you talking about?"
I think people have very low expectations for YouTube content.
Yeah, I think that
and for Shane Dawson. I mean, is it better than Not Cool or whatever the hell that movie was? So Cool.
I don't know what that is.
It was not cool.
What's that movie?
It was one of Shane Dawson's movies. Not cool. Like a high school.
Was he
comedy
just in
thing.
it though?
Yeah, he was the main character.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to judge him based on like the content
didn't he direct it?
Creates.
He directed it.
Yeah, he directed it.
Oh, he directed it? Okay, never mind.
He's like, he wants to be a filmmaker. And I'm like...
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Not Cool.
Let me look this up.
God bless, dude. Keep trying to make movies, but... I mean, you know, there's improvements to be made.
Ooh,
yeah,
a 1 Metascore.
Films, that one.
A 1 Metascore. I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
it looks great.
I've seen it many times. Yeah.
God.
From the producer of American Pie.
It's kind of annoying because, like, he clearly has the resources to be able to fund something of actual quality that could push that kind of thing in a proper direction. But
Smosh.
yeah. Yeah, but you know, Shane Dawson's going for the edgier, like, we've got interviews, this is a documentary. Smosh has always been kind of goofy, dumb comedy skits or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
Shane wants to put more of an air of like professionalism to it.
Yeah.
And like, oh, this is gonna have an impact. It's important. It's like
I suppose, when your subject matter is so vapid, something that has been talked about and done to death to such a degree, what can anyone even say at this point about those fucking brothers? Who gives a shit? God damn it! Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, it really just dawned on me when I was halfway through part 2. I was like, am I seriously investing this much time in a fucking Jake Paul documentary
Exactly.
of trying to go into his
Yeah.
character when it's like you haven't said anything that I didn't already know,
Mhm.
you know, like that I couldn't already just infer by the internet
Yeah,
existing,
exactly, yeah.
you know, by me
Yeah.
not living under a rock. Like, it's just him acting really concerned and
Mhm.
talking about Jake
Yeah.
Paul.
With that stupid music and
Yeah.
over editing.
It's so bad.
Yeah. I just skipped through it
Trash
for a few minutes.
content.
Do you think if someone who doesn't know who those people are, Jake Paul or any
It's
of
not
them,
well made in
just
that sense
watching,
either.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, so
'cause,
they
like,
wouldn't get anything out of it.
That's why it's so stretched out, is because the
Mhm.
people watching it are people who are already interested in what people have to say about Jake Paul. The people who are watching it want to hear somebody else say, "Ooh, Jake Paul's a bad person," and he just
Yeah.
stretches it out for 40-minute episodes, just so he can blue ball people that think like, "Oh yeah, this will prove that he's a sociopath, and this will confirm my biases." Like, okay, like it's just trash.
And the moral of the story will be, look, he's a person, and he's got feelings too.
It's going to be inconclusive. It's going to be like,
Whatever the
oh,
fuck
some
he does,
say
it's gonna
it's
suck.
this and some say it's that, but I'm not really going to give any kind of conclusive opinion on it, even though that's kind of what I implied I would do.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he goes on to do something.
Yeah.
Choose
I don't
a
hate
better
the guy. I
subject.
just think it's trash.
Yeah, me neither.
It's a bad documentary.
Yeah. Just,
Sorry.
choose something more interesting, yeah?
Yeah, well, I don't know. You could make an interesting documentary on Jake Paul, just not like that. Don't stretch it out so much. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Maybe
just
he's
wanna
just
get
not
the
good
views.
at making movies.
It's so manipulative. It's
Mhm.
just garbage.
When you're already such a personality yourself, yeah.
It's like those shows that would like tease the like and coming up, and then they show the same clip the next commercial break and then the next commercial break, and it's like, when are
Yeah.
we gonna get to this thing that you're telling me is gonna be
It's like
in
a
the
ghost show, yeah.
yeah?
Or some
Like,
shit.
what the fuck? It's garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, I guess we're done questions, and somebody has a film.
I guess it's my
recommend?
one, right?
It is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's not going to be as impressive or thought-provoking or deep as, what was it, Ben and Arthur?
Oh, that's a shame.
Obviously.
Fuck.
It's a hard one to follow up. But I want to talk about a movie I've actually mentioned before. I hope I'm the only one who's seen it, but I want to talk about Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Nice, thank you.
Mix it up a bit.
I've been meaning to
Yeah.
watch
I
that.
was
for
gonna
so
watch
long.
it today.
Were you serious?
Yeah, I
Really?
was.
Nice.
Because I saw, Ralph, you said you're into Pink Floyd at the moment, and this is a good film to accompany that kind of thing.
What are
I
you,
knew Adam
stalking
said he
me?
wanted to see it. That's what you said on Twitter.
What a weirdo.
you said it on your wall.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
that's a good one, Adam.
Should be somewhat easy to find. It's not that of a deep cut.
Yeah. I think I already
got it
have
on
a copy
DVD.
somewhere.
Yeah, I've got it on DVD, so it's out. I think it's actually in parts on YouTube if you're really struggling. It's not the best on YouTube because it skips bits out. But if that's the only place you can find it, it'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right. Perfecto. Thank you very much. I cannot wait. Very
Yeah,
excited.
Sam.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Sardonicast. If you would like to, sorry, I'm still sick. If you would like to, I have not been cured in this hour and a half. If you would like to support the show or listen to these episodes early, go to sardonicast.com. $2 a month. You can get them when they're edited, which is usually a few days before they're released publicly. Also, patreon.com/sardonicast. It's the same thing there. Thank you very much. We all appreciate you fine people. Thanks.
Yeah, we love you. We love you.
Damn straight.
I love you hard.
Damn straight.
I love you more than Ben loves Arthur. I love you more than Arthur's brother loves Arthur.
But he
Yeah.
hates Arthur.
But he loves him. It's just, remember how like they always told you like, oh yeah, if a girl's picking on you, it's because she likes you. That's what Arthur's brother is doing to Arthur.
Mm.
Because he wants to fuck his brother.
Yeah. That was it. All right.
Let's
Bye,
end this
everybody.
podcast with all three of us shooting each other.
What you
Adam,
say?
just add in 3 gunshot sound effects and then just end it.
Very, very quiet gunshot sound effects.
Yeah, that's right. So you can't hear it in the shower.
Mm-hmm. The gun actually went off twice when they were wrestling on the floor. I don't know if you noticed, but it was very quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like pow pow, but it was very quiet. Anyway, we gotta go before we get sucked into the void again. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.